Hey folks, and welcome back here to Flexline Productions as we continue to bring you coverage of the 30th Annual City of Mobile Championships. We're in our second round with our lead card, and we've shifted over to Langan Municipal Park, which is going to be a much different style of golf than what you saw at the Admiral. Again, we'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors on the screen, which we'll talk more about throughout the broadcast. But once again, I am Dustin Mouret, and once again joining me is JC Rohe. How's it going, sir?
It's going great. It's a pleasure to be here.
Take a look at the leaderboard here. You're seeing our lead card is going to change up quite a bit. MattyO is the only person who remains on the card. Joel Freeman, though, certainly a familiar face to those of you who follow the Disc Golf Pro Tour, will be joining us, as well as Kiefer and Parker Welck.
Yeah, Kevin is he's semi-local to the area, but yeah. So we move on to hole one. It's a par 3, 233 feet. It's pretty much a must-get for these guys. You can pick any route you want to attack to the basket, putter shot, forehand, or maybe a spike hyzer, as Matt's going to show you here.
Worth noting, we had about a 45-minute delay to the start of this round due to weather. But once the weather cleared, the wind was literally dead, which we were forecasted to have a lot of wind on this round, and we had 0. So ideal conditions for scoring.
Yeah, that flag you can see is not moving at all. Matt puts it a little deep at the basket, maybe 20, 25 feet.
All right, now we got Joel Freeman coming up next out of Colorado, representing Innova, currently ranked 12th in the UDisc World Rankings. Just had a second place finish at Texas State's coming into this event, and has been consistently finishing in the top 10 on the Pro Tour for a couple of years now.
Yeah, very solid forehand game, very solid backhand game. It's on a little left, but that's still a putt.
Look at it.
And now next up we got Kiefer out of Florida representing Latitude 64. He's coming off the back with some solid finishes at the Las Vegas Challenge and Texas States. Also had a pretty good 2022. He had top 10 at multiple events as well as a top 20 at the Major at Champions Cup. So definitely been picking up steam.
Giving it a pretty good bid. Gets a fortunate kick off the stump behind the basket to scoot him closer.
Now we got Parker Welck from Hawaii, but lives out in California representing Prodigy, and he's very competitive out in the California area. Came top 20 at Waco this year, so starting to pick up some steam on tour too.
Yeah, scoots it a little long on that shot. Definitely giving it a bit of a bid off the tee. Some of the tester putts for Joel and Parker.
And that just never had a chance out of the hands of Freeman. Just something kind of just disconnected there. Good putt though from Parker Welck. Got him a birdie kick off the round. The score is pretty tight right now, as you can see on the leaderboard.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are going to have to definitely keep up with Matt here. This is another course that he plays pretty often and has definitely scored well here.
Yeah, it's a very kind of birdie or die course for the most part. There are maybe 4 or 5 holes that can be a bit trickier to birdie on, but you definitely expect elite players to kind of, I would say, hit that 11 to 14 under range. I think that's pretty fair.
Oh, Kevin able to keep it in the basket there. Yeah, going back to what you were saying about the course, this is, I guess if you'd have to compare it to something that score-wise that's more well-known, Fountain Hills kind of comes to mind, where those guys are out there shooting, 15, 16 down.
Yeah, I remember last year at this same event we had Sullivan Tipton shoot a 16 down during the final round, and he has gone on to become a fantastic player this year. He's way up there now. So we got the hole 2.
Yeah, the hole 2. Par 3, 260 feet, probably the easiest hole on the course, as most players are just going to take this simple backhand hyzer with an oversteerable putter or mid.
Yeah, this is an anvil out of MattyO.
Yeah, there's really nothing to contend with. Yeah, as you can see, Matt does it pretty easy.
I believe this is a harp out of Kiefer. Really cool dude. This is the first time I got to meet him at this event, and definitely just a pleasant guy to be around. Always had a positive attitude no matter what.
Yeah, with just the simple run-ins I've had with him on the course. Actually, he was on the card ahead of us, and one of my card mates almost hit him, but it was with a Kevin Kiefer signature rive. So he was, instead of being aggravated, he was like, "Oh, that's so awesome." So that was pretty cool.
Parker Welck probably throwing some type of A series disc from Prodigy, I'd imagine there, overstable and gets there, as this is probably like a gator or a pig or something like that from Freeman.
Yeah, I think that is a gator. Parker, I think, throws the distortion, so
Okay.
very zone-like disc, I guess, if you wanted to compare it to something. But all the guys in the circle, Kevin just on the edge, it looks.
I think he either putts with the hope or the faith, kind of a newer putter from Latitude 64. Can't quite remember which one, so my apologies there.
So Parker pushed it a little long there. See if he's able to connect as he did on hole 1.
Just left side there for Welck, so I have to settle for par on this one, which you really hate to see. This is so scoreable.
Yeah, I believe this hole averaged 2.25 strokes, so almost a full. It was literally almost all birdies.
Yeah. Freeman will be able to grab the 2, no problem. I believe he puts with the whale, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, can survives. See another sip. See Parker Welck throw in the par there. And now Matt finally gets to put the finishing touches on his birdie here on hole 2. So 2 for 2 to kick his round off.
And that'll move us into hole 3. Par 3 with a lot of danger left and right and deep as well. Most of these players are probably going to be throwing a backhand straight at it or forehands around over the water. This hole is more commonly known as A-hole, and it can be a really big A-hole.
Yes. I try to say hole 8 just to save myself from bad things, but
No,
you're
it's
absolutely
A-hole.
right. Yeah,
It's
it
A-hole.
is. This is Matt. I believe this is a trust. So kind of a stable mid-range from the Trilogy lineup.
And he definitely trusts that one to go dead straight down the middle to 20 feet, if that.
Yeah, really well executed shot there from MattyO, as we are going to see Kiefer going for the forehand over the water, throwing, well, his disc, the Kevin Kiefer ride. There are a lot of jokes made about the Kevin Kiefer ride throughout the round, so I'll try to keep you in tune with those. I believe one slogan he had was, Kevin Kiefer rides, they don't hit trees.
Let's see if it holds true to its slogan here. Really, the only thing he has to do is push this wide enough to where it comes back in, and
A long way to go. Come on.
he throws it high enough to get it to come back, and it's able to do so. But I'm sure that was a little scary out of his hand.
Yeah, that was on the edge of the bank there, so definitely toying with the water a bit more than he probably wanted to. And some type of maybe Halo Destroyer or Emperor here from Joel Freeman on the forehand.
Yeah, Joel known to have a pretty powerful forehand. I was not surprised to see him throw this shot.
He's got sneaky distance. It doesn't even look like he's throwing it hard. He throws it so far. So yeah, Freeman definitely, as you said, has a knack for blasting some plastic. We get over here to Parker Welck, who I will tell you also has a monster forehand, but he likes to go backhand here on this hole.
Yeah, where the other guys were going distance driver, he was eyeing it with an FX2, which is a 9-speed, but elects for the backhand.
Yeah, nice shot.
Probably with an M2, if I had to guess.
And he was able to settle right on the backside of the bank. So everyone inbounds and with a chance for birdie here. That's 3 for 3 for Matt to kick off round 2.
So Kevin here a little closer than I thought. He definitely pushed it almost pin high.
Man, he's had a good start to this round as well.
Yeah, both of these I was like, they're gonna be.
So it looks like Parker and Joel are there making minis, and Joel's asking him to mark his disc.
Joel missing low again, just like hole one. So kind of a rocky start to his round, not what you expect to see.
Yeah, that was only about a 20-foot putt, but the footing may have got to him there,
Sure, very possible.
as that water line actually is about a meter off the bank, so there's no relief.
Parker able to hit the right side, though, and grab his birdie.
Showing Joel how it's done.
A&J Roofing and Construction Services is a full-service roofing company that provides high-quality work from local, friendly, and knowledgeable professionals at a competitive price. They pride themselves on excellent customer service and guarantee your satisfaction.
All right, guys, welcome back. Hole 4, par 3, 231 feet. Players are probably going to throw a backhand up the middle or maybe a hyzer over the bushes to the right and just try to control this as it comes into the green to not go too far into the out of bounds. It's a very technical shot, and Matt elects to go up the middle, slides it to the basket.
Yeah, really well done. It's just, like you said, it's about distance control. You do not want to go deep and wind up in the water on the backside of the basket. As again, we were dealing with rain right before this round starts, so the tee pad's a little bit slippery here. And really well done there from him.
Yeah. That felt good.
You can tell Matt has played here a time or two. Just as soon as the disc comes out of his hand, Kevin was worried about it slowing down, and Matt assured him he's parked.
Similar flight here from Welck, and it's going to get out those bushes. That's exactly what you want. Getting caught up in there could be a huge problem for some.
Joel looking to line up the hyzer as well. Just a little left, but gets a fortunate skip to not shoot off. And it looks like he's the closest of the bunch.
Yeah, looks like we have a great opportunity for a star frame here on hole 4. As Matt will lead it off.
Dang, Joel, I thought you were
4 down through 4.
longer than I was.
Yeah, for sure. I must have hit a root or something. Yeah.
A lot of good camaraderie on this card throughout the round. Again, Kiefer's just that guy that kind of exudes positive energy, so awesome to have him around.
And it rewards him with a birdie on the course.
And Freeman kind of making up for the mishap on the previous hole, knocks in a 2 after a great drive off the tee, and Parker Welck will join him as we move into hole 5, which is one that requires a little bit of finesse.
Yeah, with this one, you really just want to throw a shot straight down the middle and have it filter left. You don't want to come in super high because you have out of bounds directly to the left of the basket. Anything that doesn't get left, though, gives you a very dangerous putt towards the out of bounds. So it's all about controlling and trusting your disc.
And Matt is basically doing it exactly like you said, let it slowly drift left and put him near the circle.
Yes, sir.
Is that a heart from him?
I think that was the warden again.
Okay.
Just kind of power down on that to let it drift. As this is Harp, I believe, out of Kiefer. Something a little bit more overstable than what Matt threw, so.
Very similar line, but a little more power.
I think he also put a touch of ante on it off the tee as well,
Yes,
and that
sir.
slides into a good position.
Nice one.
Yeah, that is definitely the miss on this, going deeper rather than shorter, because for a right-handed player.
A right-handy.
Yeah. With that, you have your putt comes back away from the OB. So Parker just kind of in between Matt and Kevin, and that's going to give him that look towards the basket that I was talking about.
Yeah, I guess it's Gator again from Freeman, and he loves this Gator. Apparently it's been in his bag for many, many years, and he trusts it a lot.
Yeah, he kind of overcooked that one.
Whoa, Parker, stop drinking so late, dude. Chill, bro.
is a scary putt for Freeman.
Oh, nice.
And that,
That's safe.
yeah, I guess that's fortunate enough to stay in bounds there. That's pretty much almost
very fortunate.
always guaranteed to be out of bounds if you airball that putt.
Yeah, just happened to not have enough steam, and so it settled on the edge.
Yeah, if you miss this, you want to either hit metal or make it. Actually, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, so luckily that one's going to lay down for a walk. So no birdie, but at least we'll be able to grab the par. Again, this is maybe one of the handful of holes on the course that can be a bit tricky when it comes to getting your birdie. Kiefer will nail down another one. He's really, keeping himself right there behind Matt, just a step behind.
Yeah, I mean, he's perfect start as well.
Yep.
So Matt looking to continue that.
Indeed. The birdies keep rolling for MattyO here. It's also worth noting that this was the second round they played this day. It was a 2-day tournament, 2 rounds the first day. So again, if you haven't caught the first round coverage over at Admiral, definitely go check that out. As Freeman makes sure he gets his full meter here off the water line. Make that putt just a touch easier.
Did he just put the disc upside down?
I have no idea, maybe. Some people will do that when they're close.
All right, so we move into hole 6, par 3, 362 feet. Kind of a longer version of the hole we just played. So guys are going to be throwing more of a distance driver. You can push this one further right as you have a more open gap, but you still have the OB left of the basket. So you want to be close enough to actually have a putt.
Yeah, definitely about distance control on this one. Don't want to push it deep, as this is Enforcer for MattyO. Looking to use that overstability to swing it in.
And he pushes it pretty deep, but should still be a look kind of similar to how Kevin was in the last hole, where he won't have to worry too much about the finish on the disc and can confidently putt.
This is Kiefer. I believe this is also I think his disc from this year. This is the Kevin Kiefer Pioneer. So it's an overstable 9-speed.
Okay.
Kind of similar to like a Felon from DD.
Even wider than Matt. Slides into a range that not many people want to test, especially early on, and you're in the middle of round 2. Lots of holes to be played. Be interesting to see if he actually attacks that.
A little more inside here from Welck.
Right. For me, I think playing inside of that pine tree is a better play. He had it a little high and unfortunately leaks into the out of bounds, but it'll be a tap-in par.
Also, just want to let you know, Freeman throwing that same gator rather than throwing the fairway or distance driver on this hole, and he still gets all the way down there.
That is some power.
The guy has distance, there's no doubt about it. As we do see a quick layup there from Kiefer. He didn't want to have anything to do with that, and you can't blame him.
Joel looking to attack it, though.
I think Joel kind of realizes, like, a couple of missed putts that he had early, he needs to make up that ground, and so I think that encouraged him to go for that.
Yeah, fortunate enough to just hit the cage and sit.
Here's Matt to try to keep the streak alive. Definitely a more challenging putt. MattyO will run it in there.
With the patented skip hop.
Yeah, it's not quite the Raptor legs, but he definitely has his own thing going when it comes to those jump putts or step putts that he's got. He's got one of the most unique putts in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I think he said he modeled it after free throws in basketball, keeping the elbow in. A little Anheuser release, as we are going to see at least a tap-in par there for Welck. I guess is the slight silver lining to the OB being that close to the basket at least.
All right, and the rest of these guys will be tapping in their par. So Matt gains a stroke on the card. Kevin, unfortunately, does not keep his perfect start alive.
Might be surprised to hear a pharmacy sponsoring this disc golf coverage, but Saraland Pharmacy is actually one of the best disc golf stores in Southern Alabama with a huge variety of brand new plastic and some great used stuff as well. Be sure to come on by.
And that moves us into hole 7, par 4, 510 feet. You've got a pretty low ceiling off the tee that makes this hole pretty hard to attack. Players are probably going to be throwing maybe mid fairway just to get through to that short PVC pipe that you see down there, just to be able to pitch up and take a nice easy birdie.
Yeah, that short pin position is about 345 feet up the fairway, and it sets up like an under 200-foot approach shot for your birdie. As you said, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but some people will sometimes get aggressive and go backhand roller here, try to attack for the eagle. But other than that, it's usually a pretty routine birdie when it's in this position as a par 4.
Yeah, the roller here definitely, with the hill going down, once you get the disc going, it can pick up speed and get up there.
We get over to Kiefer, who's looking to throw a forehand with his drive. Another very valid play off the tee on this hole.
Right.
Play away from that OB left.
Keeps your eye on the target the whole time as well. You don't have to worry about the ceiling as much. Keep everything low.
Parker Welck also looking to throw forehand here.
Yeah, most of the time with these, it's placement.
I mean, that is a smash.
It,
Okay, that doesn't happen very often. Let me just tell you that. That is so far up the fairway in the air.
that's a 460-foot forehand.
Yeah, dude. With low ceiling, by the way. So he didn't even get to use all the airspace, and he still got it down there. So Freeman sees that and is like, you know, I got a pretty big forehand as well. And he does get a good ways down there, to his credit, but gets a little bit caught up, had a little bit too much hyzer.
Yeah, he's fortunate enough not to find any of those bushes because that can make the hole really difficult to get.
I mean,
to
that
the
is
basket.
ridiculous. An all-air forehand on hyzer, getting to a position that you really only hope to achieve with a roller on this hole to try to give yourself an eagle bid.
Yeah.
He got it. Okay.
Mind blown.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't know that this hole has seen a forehand that good before.
Very easy upshot for Kevin. And Joel didn't like this off the tee, but he's got a pretty easy hyzer.
It's a little bit trickier because he's playing from the right-hand side, but, I mean, still pretty textbook.
Leaks a little long. Parker for eagle.
Just didn't quite get there. And it's one of those situations where you're all kind of hoping you can will it to happen because of how impressive the tee shot was, but unfortunately he'll have to settle for birdie despite.
Yeah, that eagle putt almost is probably way more nerve-wracking than any birdie.
That's 3 misfired putts from Freeman on this front 9. It's just so uncharacteristic.
Yeah, he was able to make the correction of from putting too low, but unfortunately putted too high on the uphill putt.
I do want to give a shout out to the only player who got an eagle on this hole on the day, and that was actually Matt Givens with a roller. So shout out to him.
Very nice from Mac.
Another good local player in our scene. Former captain of the USA Jaguar college disc golf team.
Jagging off, baby.
Yeah.
South in your mouth.
I did that then.
We have way too many terrible expressions.
I was also a former member. So it moves us on into hole 8. It's a par 3. It's pretty wide open, minus this one bush you have from the by the basket. Some players may elect to throw forehand around the Magnolia, but there's really no trouble in just throwing a nice easy hyzer out there.
Yeah, spike hyzer out wide right is what you see 9 times out of 10. Matt using that AT over stable fairway.
Leaning it into the basket. Catches the smaller bush. That was the one I was talking about, but that should be 10 feet. Probably bullseye.
To be clear, you're talking about the big bush.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
This
the
is an
one.
interesting play that you're about to see here. This is a pure, and he's actually trying to go straight at it left side of the pine. It's interesting to see how non-locals play this hole.
Oh my god.
And he hits
No
the
way.
only tree in the fairway. In years past, that was not even a shot. So a lot of the locals will play the hyzer because, as you can see in front of the tee box, probably about 50 feet, there was an old pine tree there that got struck by lightning. So opens our mind or opens our eyes to other possibilities of shots, I guess.
That does get caught up in the bigger bush that you were referring to earlier. But there's still sometimes ways you can straddle out and get a putt from there.
Yeah, and Parker, not ragging on him, he's kind of a shorter guy, so he should be able to make it work. Maybe just a footing issue, but
I mean, still a good shot.
yeah, he didn't like it out of his hand.
It looked like some type of overstable, like mid or approach disc from him. As Kiefer's got some work to do here to get up and down for his par. Or just throw it in, maybe. Catches the basket.
He didn't even realize it either. He was just like, oh, what?
Yeah, that was pretty wild. So he will save the par. Definitely kicking himself, though, because this is definitely a hole you want to get.
Yeah, as we had mentioned, you know, this course is pretty much birdie or die. Parker able to find a gap behind the bush, under the low ceiling, and it's a nice putt for 2.
This time, Freeman able to connect for the birdie. Next to correction on the putt. Keep himself in the mix. I mean, it really is kind of Kiefer and Orum right now, kind of in a foot race for the top position.
And this is Matt looking to get another stroke on Kiefer.
Yep, going to separate them to 3, which on this course is deadly.
Yeah, it's tough to gain any strokes.
We move into our final hole of the front 9. It's a big one.
Oh yeah, hole 9, par 4, 654 feet. You've got this wall of pine trees in the middle that you're really just trying to pick a gap to throw through. Very much so a max distance shot here.
Yep, this is Julio Jones coming out of MattyO's hands, a orbit rive.
Kevin Kiefer orbit ride.
That's incorrect, and they don't hit trees.
As
You heard him just say it, yeah.
Oh boy, MattyO. Keep throwing that disc. You know, trees are 100% air, right?
Trees are partially air, that is true. Roller attempt here from Freeman, which is another popular play for this hole.
Right. This time of year, though, you do have the pine cones on the ground that can definitely affect your shot.
Straight into the tree.
Still good.
Joel actually finds the pine, not the pine cones, but ramps over it, pushes another 50, 60 feet down. That's pretty much all you need on this hole is to get past the wall of trees.
Parker Welck here, flexing one over. And
Solid move on this.
that sets up for a really nice, just like backhand hyzer approach shot on that side of the fairway.
Yeah, there's no obstacles in the way over there.
And this is Kevin Kiefer throwing his orbit ride, same thing that MattyO threw.
Well, of course it's his.
Yeah, and will it hit trees? I mean, it's right now it's 1 for 1 on not hitting trees. We'll see if it can go 2 for 2. I mean,
Playing a similar line to Matt.
Oh, yeah. Told you they don't hit trees. They don't hit trees.
And that's a mash, too.
oh, it is. Yeah, you got to lay on up there.
That's 500 foot easy.
Oh, absolutely. And it does play slightly downhill, but still, that is a mash for sure.
Kevin can rip.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, just an easy chip backhand there for Freeman, and he was the furthest out. So, I mean, looking like we should be seeing everyone get up and down for birdie on this one, based on the tee shots.
Interesting to see Matt go forehand here. Maybe just more comfortable with that distance.
Yes, that was an anvil. It was kind of his overstable forehand approach disc.
Parker with a distortion, a little over the top.
A little harp chip up here for Kiefer to grab his birdie. Well done.
So a little meat left on the bone for Parker here. He's connected on a few, but also missed a few.
Not this time. That will sink. And so, looking like a star frame here to wrap up our front 9, JC.
Yeah, and one thing to note is Matt is perfect right now.
He is. Yeah, he is 9 down through 9. He is, and he had an 11 under in the first round at Admiral, which is a fantastic score. So he is having a scorcher of a tournament here on his home turf, exactly as he wants to. Out here at the City Mobile Championships, as we wrap things up here for our front nine of the second round with our lead card. Again, a big thank you to our sponsors, AJ Roofing and Construction, the Mobile Area Disc Golf Association, the City of Sims, and Saraland Pharmacy. As we take a look at our scores, it's starting to see MattyO pull out in front, but Kiefer not too far behind, and everyone else kind of settling into place. And that's going to do it here for the first half of the second round. We'll see you for the back half here soon.